Yo, I'm going to teach you how to prepare yourselves for the Charmer support. Skip ahead if you already know what Charmers kind of generally do. Otherwise, stick around and I'll teach you guys just what Charmers can do pure. Looking at it from a pure point of view, these monsters rely heavily on their back row. Their link monsters can steal special summon monsters from your opponent graves based on the corresponding attribute of the charmer you're using. And then the flip monsters, when flip up, can steal a monster your opponent currently controls of the corresponding attribute that of the charmer you flipped up. The flip monsters is not really good. They don't do anything turn one, and you have to rely that your opponent doesn't read or beat over it with a huge beat stick. There are ways to protect, which is your back row cards. These two, continuous, trap, and spell, generally protect your charmers. The spell one protects them from battle destruction, card destruction. A card effect destruction. The trap one protects them from battle destruction. They also have extra effects. For instance, this one boosts the attack of all monsters you control by 300 for each attribute you control. For each different attribute you control, that is. It also lets you draw one whenever you summon 1850 Spellcaster, which is basically the level 4 Charmers, as well as the level 5 and the Links, but you're not going to be using the level 5s, except for maybe Asa for this version of the deck that I'll get into soon enough. And then you have the trap. Its bonus effects. Basically, whenever a monster you control is destroyed, you can special summon a charmer directly from the deck, either face up or face down, with a different attribute than the monster that was just destroyed on your field. It also gives a 800 attack boost to your link monsters and these level 4 charmer monsters. Well, they're technically called familiar possessed, but they're charmers. Anyhow, they give them an 800 attack boost only during if they declare battle temporarily. Once the battle's over, they go down to whatever current attack they were at, either their original or whatever they're being boosted with this by. It's not bad, but it's not real disruption during your opponent's turn. If your opponent reads your cards, they're gonna know what the deal is, and they're just like a nuisance because they don't really do anything. They don't have any quick effects, any real disruption power aside from, oh look, the flip one is gonna steal one of my guys. Oh no. Anyhow, just beat over it. Beat over your own monster, or out this card, or non-destructive removal. It really isn't that good, honestly. But you still run it. Because in case your opponent doesn't read, or your opponent just doesn't have a way to deal with it at the current moment. And then the best back row card, or the best card in general for your archetype, Possess Partnership. Special summon a 15 defense spellcaster, which is basically any main deck charmer, from your hand or grave, and then it checks the field if you have 2 or more attributes. If you do, it destroys any face-up card on the field, non-targeting, which is the best card of your deck. It's also got a graveyard effect that lets you banish itself to basically bring back one of these guys, the continuous spell or the continuous trap, from the grave, place it face up on your field. That's great and all, except you can only use one Possess Partnership effect per turn. So you can't use the Summon and Destroy effect and then use the second effect to bring one of these in case they out you. You can only choose one, which sucks. There were some cases where I lost because of that. And the fact that modern cards let you fucking... I don't want to talk about it. Anyhow, there's also 2 more spells to talk about. You have Spirit Charmers. This is not searchable. You can't search this off in any way, shape, or form. You just gotta hard draw it. This lets you discard a card to take 2 cards that are Charmer related, essentially, add one hand, and set the other. Of course, they have to be different names, and this might sound like an amazing card, But when you consider that these girls don't have real effects because their effects are pretty bad, you could just read them yourself. You're really not going to actually use their effects. You only care about their stat line. I guess you could summon one of the flip charmers and then set an unpossessed. But your opponent is definitely gonna know what you're doing, and that's kind of stupid. Typically, you're gonna search for one of the girls to add to hand, and your set card will either typically be Possessed Partnership or the Awakening. It just depends on your hand. For this version of the deck, you're most likely gonna grab this, or this if you already have this, or maybe even this. It just depends on the hand, really. We'll get to that when we get to that. Anyhow, we've already talked about the girls, the back row cards. Let's talk about the familiars. I'm only showing you one because this is the only one that matters, and that is Nefarious. All the other familiars can do essentially the same thing, which is basically special summon themselves from the hand while you control any spellcaster. So that's cool. So why do we only run this one and not all the others? Or at least for... Okay, I'll be honest. You don't run this at all. But if you're playing pure, you're definitely running 3 of these, because you're going to be summoning its Awakening form. And this, all the Charmers Familiars Awakening form are basically this same way how you summon them. You send a spellcaster you control and a level 4 or lower attribute monster to summon the level 5 attribute monster directly from hand or deck. With the Earth one, you of course summon the Earth one. The Wind summons the Wind one. The Fire summons the Fire. The Water summons the Water. We are not going to talk about Lina and Dark because they are not part of the original 4, and they don't even have level 4 familiars and level 5 familiars. They probably won't have them. So we're not going to talk about them. Not like they're part of the original lore. Anyhow, and then these guys, when they're summoned this way, have their own bonus effect. This one in particular lets you special summon a level 4 or lower monster from the grave, but negates effects. And that is the best one of the 4 Awakened Familiars. Why? Because read its second effect. If this card is sent from the field to grave, you can search for basically any of your possessed back row cards. One of these guys. Typically, you're going to search your pop or maybe unpossessed. It just depends on your hand and board state. And that is the only way how you're going to get any searches off, at least pure. Technically, okay, I haven't explained this yet. We do have a field spell that is not searchable because it doesn't mention Charmer or Possessed anywhere in its name. Awesome. This can technically search a familiar. It's pretty bad. It's really bad. The search effect is pretty bad. You're not going to use it unless you're playing the deck in a very bad, pure way. But its actual real effect is pretty neato. It basically negates the first monster effect your opponent would resolve while you control a spellcaster with 15 defense. So it doesn't even activate. That's on resolution, baby. That's pretty awesome. Unfortunately, you cannot search for it. You have to hard draw it, at least in this pure state. There is a way to fetch it out with this version of the deck. I'll get to that soon enough. So, what else is there to talk about? The Link monsters, the ones that steal your opponent's monsters from the grave. That's basically all they do, but they do have a pretty neat last resort option. If they are destroyed by battle, but Link summoned, of course, so if you do manage to cheat them out, it won't work. If this Link summon card is destroyed by battle or by your opponent's card effect, you get to search whatever attribute this monster was from the deck. a monster with the same attribute, but its specific stat line for this one is 15 or less defense. I think they're actually different for each one. Let me check that. No, actually, it's the same requirement. 15 defense or less. So this can basically search any Asa you want, or any Earth monster in particular, which is kind of a last resort option in case you have a really bad hand and you really need a search and you manage to have 2 bodies on the field to make a thing. I'll get into that later. And finally, let's talk about... Not you. Alright. Excuse me for the jump cut. My phone fell. Let's talk about the level 5 channelers. They have level 5s. You're not going to be running them except for the Asa one, because this deck can do things with it, which I'll show you soon enough. Just wait. Why? Because for starters, we don't have a way to swarm. Like I said, your only way to summon things is by normal summoning and hard drawing a familiar. You could technically special summon off of this card, but it only special summons them face down. That sucks. So all these channelers do the same thing. They have no synergy with the actual archetype. They basically search for, they discard itself and one other monster from your hand with the same attribute to search for a monster of the same attribute with a specific stat line, or not. It just depends on which one. For some reason, I think the win one gets away with it the most. It just searches for any fucking win, which is crazy, but it does lock you into that attribute effect monsters for the rest of the turn, which for a Charmer deck that focuses on multi-attributes is kind of stupid, but let's be honest here. We're only going to be using the Earth effect turn 1. So using the Asa in this case doesn't really harm you. And then they got a weird second effect where if a monster of the same attribute is destroyed, in his case, Earth monster you control is destroyed by battle, you get a special summon them from the hand. That's very niche, and you're not probably going to be using it that way. This card would have been so much better if it was a level 4 that you can normal summon, because guess what? These guys only summon level 4 or lower monsters, and sometimes you might need to summon a spellcaster for reasons I'll get to eventually. Yeah, there's a lot of impact here. So let me check my notes real quick, and well, yeah, that's the only thing to explain about for pure, at least, is the line. So what does the combo look like? What does the inboard look like for this? Well, if you're not hard drawing Spirit Charmers, you are praying to God that you have any of these normal summonable spellcasters, plus the Nefarious. So you could bring out the Awakening form, like I said, by sending a spellcaster and a level 4 or lower Earth monster to the grave. Special summon this guy directly from the deck or hand. And then his effect triggers to special summon any shmup from your grave that's level 4 or lower, but negates effects. And then you're going to be link summoning it off to the IP. And then that will trigger the Nefarious effect because he left the field. You get to search for your trap, your best trap. Possessed Partnership, the one that specials and pops a card. You set that, pass turn, congratulations. That's your full Charmer inboard. 1 pop and a generic staple. That goes into Little Knight, I guess. Does that really count? Can you really count that? No, you just get 1 pop. You just get 1 pop, okay? If you're playing it pure, like just nothing but Charmers, this will probably be... Oh, I don't even want to imagine that. That's just awful. God damn. So yeah, congratulations. 1 pop, IP. You're dead. Because this game will easily chew you up if you just end off like that. So, Yeah, we don't have ways to swarm the board, unfortunately. I really do wish we had more things, more ways to at least fetch our other mediocre spells and traps that don't really have any interruptions. This is the only interruption you'll get reliably. Awesome. How do we fix this? Well, I did explain to you that this guy lets you get your best card, or any of the familiars really, but this one is the one you're going to be using. So we need ways to generate enough earth bodies a lot easily without needing to open up a specific line of spellcaster plus nefarious. We want to simplify that. We want to make sure we don't have a way. This deck does not have a 1-card combo, but at the very least, it doesn't overly rely on this guy. You're not going to be running this guy with this version of the deck. Why? Because we're going to be using the engine that gets us earth bodies, the Vernacells. All the Vernacells kind of do the same thing. They do a thing first, and then they special a earth monster from the grave, giving you earth bodies. So, and the best part is, these two can search for each other. So if you open with one, you can go for the other, and that gets you basically 2 extra earth bodies without needing to normal summon. The expense is you can't use non-earth effects for the rest of this turn. Doesn't matter, because I already established that turn 1, you're only going to be using this guy's effect. So, yeah, the downsides does not matter. Now, there is one other downside, and that is the cost. It discards itself and one other monster for cost. So if you open with too many spells and traps, well, guess what? You screwed yourself over. Congratulations. But we don't really have much of a choice. This is the best way to reliably get our best card in the deck. So what do these guys do? Well, I'll teach you. Let's start with something pretty simple. Forest. Forest sends any earth monster from your deck to the grave, and then special summons a monster from the grave, except the one that you just sent. This is really good in case you don't have any Charmers in your hand. You can send Asa, and that way you could at least maybe try to resolve a possessed partnership. If you can't resolve a possessed partnership, at least the optional pop, if you can't, you're probably going to search for unpossessed instead, and you're probably going to send something stupid like Dot Scraper. Yes, I do run Dot Scraper in this deck. We so desperately need earth bodies on the field. Come on. Anyway, and then this, Hills. Hills searches for any Veracel card, and then does the same usual special summon from grave. By the way, it's all one effect. They all each have their own unique effect, plus special summon an earth monster from the grave. That's all one effect, so that's pretty good. They also have field effects. It really does not matter. I mean, I guess it makes your Vernacells indestructible. Target one Vermicell, it can attack twice, right? Or double its attack. It says double its attack. It doesn't matter. Lower all monsters on the field attack by like 600 except for Vermicells. Does not matter. And speaking of this is the best Vermicell card, because it searches for any Earth Fairy, which will come in handy soon. And then, of course, it does the whole special summon Earth from grave. So that is really good. This gets you enough earth bodies. Hell, you don't even need a normal summon anything. If you could resolve each of these 3, you could ideally just go for Link Asa and then use the extra body to go into Nefarious. Nefarious special summon any shmup from the grave. Link to IP. Get your possessed partnership off that, and you haven't used your normal summon yet. Congratulations! It's actually pretty dope. Pretty nice. There's also 2 other Vernacells. There's the bear and the rabbit. If I could maybe find these. There's the bear. Hopefully I didn't spoil anything from that. I'm probably not going to find the rabbit, because I only run 1 rabbit when I should really run 3. Because, You need as many Vermicells as you can get. If you don't see a Vermicell, you die. This one lets you draw one card. This one returns a card from your Earth monster from your grave back to the hand. Run all your Vermicells at 3 because you want to see them. For each different Vermicell name you see, with your entire hand being all monsters, or even better, one Spirit Charmer and then the rest being monsters, you have insane amount of engine going, which is pretty awesome. Except that it loses the Droll and Lockbird, because that card is 100% bullshit and it should be banned. I fucking hate that card. It just kills pet decks like this. Anyhow, so you're wondering, okay, that's pretty good, except for the fact that you lose to Evenly, you lose to Lightning, you lose to Feather Duster, you lose to any board breakers. Bro, your deck sucks if it can't play through, if it can't survive any of those board breakers, it sucks. And you know what? You're right. We need a fucking negate. We don't have a spell trap negate. Instead, thanks to using the Vermicell engine, we can search for any Earth Fairy off of this guy. You want to know what will get us that negate we so desperately fucking need for this deck? God damn, I can't stress that enough. We're going to use the Madolche cards. So, off of the duck, you'll get Angeli. And you're going to normal summon Angeli, or maybe use the another Vermicell effect to special summon the Angeli off of that, to basically use the Angeli's effect to tribute itself to special summon Hootcake. Hootcake will then use its effect on the field to banish any card in the grave. Do not banish your Charmer. Ideally, you want to banish your Vermicell cards, or if need, please banish your Angeli. Don't not banish your Charmers, please. You're going to regret that. Use his effect to banish a card from your monster from your grave, and if you do, special summon the Gelato. And Gelato, when he's special summoned, lets you search for a Madolche spell trap. And guess what? There's our fucking negate. Fuck you, Evenly Match. I am so sick of Feather Duster 2. I am so sick of all these board wipes that I can't deal with, because screw you, pet decks. We don't like you. We're gonna board wipe you because you don't have a negate and you can't stop us. Well, guess what? I'm gonna say no to that. We can play through one massive board breaker. Yes, I am traumatized from my early days of playing this deck. Okay, that's a lot. Anyhow, with that out of the way, let's see. This whole thing's a mess. Excuse me. I should really organize this better. You will get 2 bodies, and maybe more if you used a Vermicell effect. Just from normal summoning the Angeli, you're getting these guys out and your Promenade. If you use a Vermicell to do this, you could also go into the Link Asa, go in Nefarious, or, okay, it'll be better if I just visualize this for you guys. You go into Link Asa with the extra body you summon off of the Vermicell effect. Link Asa, send Link Asa and 1 more card to the grave to special summon this guy directly from hand or grave. Special summon a Shemop, link him off for IP, grab Possess Partnership. But if you just don't happen to have a Charmer in your hand, which does happen sometimes if you don't open anything or have whatever that leads, they'll let you foolish the Asa. You'll probably grab this to just get your Charmer stuff online, basically. The Unpossessed Trap, basically the one that special summons a Charmer whenever a monster you control is destroyed. Anyhow, that's pretty cool and all, but just 1 negate isn't enough. We need more. We need a lot more with this deck. So what else? 1 negate, 1 pop, and 1 IP. What? That sounds kind of just mediocre. That doesn't sound like a lot. And you're right. But we could do better. We could do a lot better. Okay, not you. At least not yet. let me explain to you Ticket and the new recent Modulce support this that we got this year, which is the Link 3. Oh my god. I am teaching you everything. So Ticket is going to be your extender, but basically, when you're doing this whole lineup and you know you're going to end off the board with three or more monsters, instead of searching for Promenade, I probably butchered that name, the Modulce Negate Trap, you're going to be probably searching for a Ticket instead. I'll explain Ticket in just a moment, but for now, you have 3 or more bodies. You can summon your Link 3 Modulce, which requires at least 1 Modulce and 2 other effect monsters. So we're going to link off, and what this guy does is it lets you search for any Modulce spell or trap. You could also link off the Nefarious to potentially chain block one of those guys. Either you can chain block the Nefarious or chain block the Modulce. Modulce searches the Link 3 Modulce searches for any Modulce card. You're going to be searching for this girl, the Petting Cess, the level 4 Modulce Fairy. And then afterwards, this guy has another effect. While on the field, he can target, excuse me, you can target a card from your grave, or a monster from your grave, and for effect, special summon this chick, and if you do, shuffle that card back into the deck. Now we're going to have trigger, well, actually, make sure you activate this first. It's a continuous spell. Activate this, summon this, and then grab this. And then, after you're all said and done, oh, I forgot one quick thing. If you don't have a Charmer in your grave or hand that's not Asa, and you might be a little screwed here, because you're going to notice you can't actually use Possessed Partnership to get its pop off. You'll probably either want to search for Unpossessed if that's the case, or if you do happen to have Asa on the field, by the time you link 3 and you have Asa on the field, you can link her off for Artemis. She's a light spellcaster that just requires 1 spellcaster, 1 level 4 or lower spellcaster. So just an Asa would do. Link off. You now have 2 attributes. This is now live. You don't have to search for this. Though, if you only have enough bodies just to make this, then just... Excuse me. Oh man, I need water. Then grab this. If you have 4 bodies, with one of them being Asa, make this, grab this. If you have 5 bodies, make this, make IP, grab this. If you have 4 bodies, but none of them are Asa, or any spellcaster Asa, or whatever, you can't basically get the pop off, just search for this. Make your judgment. It basically says... I wonder if I'm explaining this properly. If you guys are confused, just... I'll probably put up a small caption or whatever to better simplify this explanation. But please use your brain. Please use your brain. Anyhow, where was I again? Oh yeah. And when this chick is special summon, and this card's on the field, guess what's going to trigger first? This is a mandatory trigger, and this is a summon trigger. We're going to explain this now. If a Modulce gets shuffled back into your deck, or actually returned to your hand, or shuffled back into your deck, this will mandatory trigger, once per turn that is, to add or special a Modulce from your deck. If you control a fairy Modulce, you can special summon it. Otherwise, just add it to your hand. You have the choice of either or if you control this, or control any Modulce fairy. And then her effect lets you special summon any Modulce monster from your deck, but lower its level by 1. So let's resolve this check first, because it goes chain link, because it's the chain link 2. You're going to be summoning this chick, the level 5 Modulce Pudding Cess. Its level will become 4. This card is very important. And then this card, you're going to be special summoning the gelato, if I can find the gelato again. And remember what I said, if I said it or not. I actually kind of lost track. This guy is not once per turn. When he special summons, search your trap this time. So you now have your trap online. And you also now have these bodies. I'm just going to keep the Artemis here just in case, whatever. So, next, you're going to Xe summon into you, Queen. Whenever you have Pudding Cess plus a level 4 or Madolche, you probably want to do this. Xe summon Queen. Very important to make sure to have the level 5 Pudding Cess, or at least in this case, she's level 4 thanks to Petting Cess. Use them as material for this girl. Very important. Make sure when you use her effect, because you will, you do not detach this. Do not detach your level 5 Pudding Cess. Do not detach her yet. Do not. I can't stress it enough. You will screw up your line if you accidentally detach her. Anyhow, you use Glass Souffle effect, the teacher effect, to detach one. We're going to detach the pudding, the level 4 one. Do not detach the level 5 one, goddammit. To target one Madolche monster you control, make it unaffected by your opponent's monster effects for the rest of this turn. Doesn't matter. Why? Because we care about its second effect. Its second effect is whenever a Madolche card is specifically worded as if a Madolche card is sent to the grave while this card's on the field, shuffle 2 cards from either player's grave. Or shuffle up to 2 cards. Gotta have that wording specific. What you're going to be doing, shuffling, is you're typically going to be shuffling back the Nefarious. So you could potentially reuse Nefarious again. If you summon the Link Asa, you probably want to shuffle that one too. You also probably might want to shuffle the Gelato if we run 2 copies in this deck. So if you just so happen to have one in your grave and one in your field, you want to make sure you shuffle the one in your grave. That way you can get your other trap that we're about to get soon enough. So make sure you do that. Oh, and by the way, when you're shuffling for this guy, you want to shuffle a Madolche card. Typically, you want to shuffle the Gelato. That's very important. But if the level 5 just so happens to be in your grave, you want to shuffle her immediately. But it's a lot of warning signs, but please use your brain, because we only run one of her and one Pudding Cess, because they are basically a detriment to you if, they're basically a detriment to you. You want to get them by searching them off from this, because, I forgot to mention, she locks you. Using her effect locks you into Madolche, summoning Madolches only for the rest of the turn. So be very mindful. She does have an effect of special summon herself, but you typically don't want to do that because, first of all, your Vernacells need a monster to discard. Second of all, if you dare use her summon effect this early, you will lock yourself into Madolches, and that's just at that point when the board state is just the first thing you do. Special summon. Guess what? You just killed your deck. I mean, it's good for an emergency case, but it is bad and otherwise. Anyhow, after you're done shuffling whatever from her effect that you need, please use your best judgment for the shuffle. You have a 1-card Xe summon. And that is Cholada. Just requires a rank 4 or lower Madolche monster, though I think there are only rank 4 Madolche monsters, so that's interesting. Transfer its materials to this card, so it gets to keep all those materials underneath it. Pretty nice. It's got an effect that lets you, once per turn, shuffle a Madolche from your grave back to the deck. You're going to be shuffling the hoop cake most of the time. That way, because we only run 2 hoop cakes, and whatever, hoop cake is the best target. Sometimes you probably might want to shuffle the petting because that's the one of, just so you can have an extra body on board, just in case you need it. Oh, my head hurts from explaining this. Anyhow, after you shuffle something, she will trigger again, because guess what? She has a second effect. If a Madolche is shuffled back into the main deck, except during damage step, funny enough, you can detach 1 material from, while you have the level 5 chick. This is why she's important. Do not detach her. While you have this chick, you can detach the special summon a Madolche from your deck. And because you just shuffled back the hoop cake, that will trigger her own effect. So that's pretty cool. Detach the teacher. The teacher. Damn it. The teacher. Do not detach your level 5. Damn it. And then you special summon another copy of this guy again. Pretend he's right here. We'll use this to just tell you that this is another gelato, because I'm not taking out another gelato right now. His effect will trigger to search for any Madolche spell trap. Guess what you're grabbing? You're grabbing desserts. Desserts is another disruption that you can have. It basically lets you target 2 cards on the field, one of them including a Madolche. Return those effect monsters back to the hand or extra deck. Then you can special summon a Madolche from your hand or extra deck based on the total sum of those original monsters returned. So, we have 5. We have a full back row now. Actually, hold on. This shouldn't be there. We have almost a full back row. If you resolve Spirit Charmers or you open with Awakening of the Possessed, the continuous Charmer spell, that's even better. Full back row. And we're not done yet, because we're going to XC summon one more time. God damn, I'm losing my voice. Okay, yeah, it's too soon. And to Queen. XC summon Queen requires 4 level 4 Madolche monsters. Queen has an effect to detach to target up to 2 Madolche cards in your grave, and then for the effect, shuffle those cards back, and then non-target shuffle 2 cards, or up to the equal number of cards you shuffled from your opponent's field back to their deck. It's pretty good, but unfortunately, it's not a quick effect. Thankfully, we have another 1-card XC summon. The other Queen, which is basically the same monster, except her back is turned to us. You typically want to summon her in defense because Lightning Storm is a bitch. So summon her in defense, and she's basically the same. She has the same effect. The only difference is that she's a quick effect only on your opponent's turn. So yeah, keep that in mind. Summon her, and then you can now pass your turn. So what are we looking at? We are looking at the Charmer Pop, the Madolche the Negate. Target 2 monsters on the field, return them to hand, then special summon a Madolche based on their attack, the sum of their original attack from hand or extra. And a shuffle 2. And special summon a Madolche if a Madolche monster is shuffled back to deck. And then a mandatory trigger if a Madolche is shuffled back to deck or returned back to your hand. This is just a body. And I guess this is just another attribute just to get this pop live. So, that makes this deck actually reliable. Charmers with Vernacells and Madolches actually works. But we could do better. We could do a lot better. with one more sauce. But before we explain that one more sauce, let's talk about Ichirin. Remember that field spell that charmers have that you cannot search for? Guess what? We can fetch it out. How do we do that? Guess what? You're going to be hard drawing or maybe foolishing off of the forest effect. The guy that can fetch out any field spell in the game, Cattycorn, when he special summon, adds a field spell. So typically, you want to basically send this card with a Vernacell, and then with the Vernacell effect, you special summon this guy to fetch out your Ichirin. Congratulations! We fucking did it. We have a way to grab Ichirin. Thanks to Cattycorn. Technically, you can grab Secret Village of the Spellcasters, but that's not a Charmer card. Okay, that's not a Charmer card. I know you. I know you're watching this video. That's not the Charmer way. Okay, if you run Secret Village, you're not a Charmer player. You're a fraud for not playing Ichirin. Okay. Getting sidetracked. So anyhow, that's a pretty neat tech right there. But we're not done. The true sauce lies right here with these two cards. So remember how Nefarious, the level 5 familiar, Earth familiar, where is he at? God damn it. Oh, there he is. Remember this guy? This funny card that lets you special summon a free body from the grave, and it doesn't really matter because its effects are negated and you're just going to link it off. Well, if you just so happen to send a... Oh man, I fucking spoiled it. Well, if you just so happen to have Glow Up Bulb in your grave, either by using Forest effect, the Vernacell that foolishes a Earth monster directly from the deck, or you hard draw this and then you send it to the grave by a Vernacell effect, guess what? You can use this guy to special summon this guy, and instead of link summoning into IP or whatever, you're going to be synchro summoning 1 + 5. What does that equal? What's synchro 6 will actually help us out, especially when we're probably Earth effect locked? Well, Psychic or Serene Psychic Sorceress. When she's special summon, or synchro summon, excuse me, you can pay 1,000 life points. Set a teleport, quick play, or normal spell directly from your deck, grave, or banishment. So anywhere, which is actually kind of insane. You're going to be setting the teleport fusion directly from wherever you can get it from. And we didn't use Glow Up Bulb's effect yet. That's very interesting. So his effect lets you send the top card of your deck to grave to special summon himself. And guess what? Just ignore these cards for now. Just pretend we only have the Glow Up Bulb and the Serene and this card. Also, make sure you get the search off when you're activating. You can chain block, so... When you summon this girl, you can chain block the Nefarious because these two effects trigger at the same time. You can choose which one to chain block. Typically, you want to chain block this because this is ashable. This is not ashable. So, chain 1 this, chain 2 this, and you're good to go. Search for your trap and your teleport fusion. That's awesome. Use Glow Up Bulb's effects on the top card of your deck to the grave. Special summon himself. We're synchroing again. God damn it. This is a fucking mess. I'm spoiling it a little bit, but whatever. You're going to be synchroing 1 + 6 = 7. Psychic Omnibuster, the little Ghostbusters card. It's a win, so you don't have to worry about not having the right attributes for Possessed Partnership unless you just have win in your grave and no other Charmers, but that's okay, because typically you're playing enough Vernacells to get an Earth Body on the board. Anyhow, this card just doesn't do anything on your turn because obviously you're Earth effect locked, but you don't want to use it on your turn either way. This is a card meant to be used during your opponent's turn. Each time your opponent activates a card on the field, you can declare one of the card types: monster, spell, or trap. Then your opponent reveals a random card in their hand, and if it's that declared type, temporarily banish it until the end phase. Yeah, baby, this can hand rip your opponent up to 3 times because it's once per card type. So you can declare each card type per turn as long as you have the life to burn. Now, do note, do not use this for a 3rd time. 2 times, okay? Use this effect twice at most. Otherwise, you won't have enough life points to pay for the teleport fusion. But you're probably wondering, teleport fusion doesn't cost life points. No, it doesn't. But the monster you're summoning off does. Kinda. Either way, it also has a bonus effect. If you do get it right, it becomes indestructible by that card type. Not like that really comes up much, but it's just something to be aware of, I guess. Even if you call it wrong, at least you have hand knowledge too, so that's cool. It's basically pretty good. And whenever you need to use a teleport fusion, well, if you see so many face-up cards your opponent controls and it's such a upcoming danger, you feel extremely threatened, teleport fusion. This banishes fusion psychic monsters from your... or it summons a fusion psychic by banishing materials from your field or grave. So even if they do out this with like a kaiju or whatever, you still have access to this. This is still live because these 2 are in your grave. And what fusion, psychic fusion you can make with these 2? Well, we're going to make the best Charmer boss imaginable. Absolute Axion Kicker. Cannot be destroyed by card effects. When this card is fusion summoned, pay 2,000 life points to banish all face-up cards your opponent controls. Whoo! Yeah. This guy will shred everything your opponent has. And all that just from the Farius special summoning the glow-up bulb. Pretty damn cool. And you know what's the funny part? You still have access. You do this shit first, and then you do your whole normal summon Angeli and do all that crazy line. You can end the board off with too many back row cards to even put. You're typically probably going to hold off on this now because you're going to have the teleport fusion, you're going to have the possessed partnership, you're going to have the Mondolce Promenade Negate, you're going to have the extender, and then you're probably going to have the awakening of the possessed, the continuous spell, or whatever. Or maybe if you don't, then yeah, I guess you could put this in there. Oh man, that's a board. That's finally a board. Cons. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. You're probably gonna fumble this combo quite a bit. You also have to be very weary of the spellcasters in your grave and hand, like the attributes. Like I said, you need 2 or more attributes to get this pop going, and this will help you out. And definitely, the whole psychic thing will help you out because this is a light and this guy's a wind, so that kind of helps distinguish your attributes a bit on the field. Whew, man. I can't believe this is almost an hour-long video. Excuse me for going on about that, but yeah, that's the whole plan. Yeah, I don't know how else to end this video, honestly. I mean, the deck profile, I guess. Fuck it. Give me a moment to clean up, so let me just hit the pause. Alright, this is a little bit more cleaned up. So this is what your opponent will be seeing from your fucking board if you just so happen to have full gas and you're not interrupted with bullshit cards like Droll and Logbird that just instantly loses you the game. Anyhow, your opponent will be seeing a negate, a pop, a banish, a fusion that will banish all cards they control, potential up to 2 hand rips, non-target shuffle 2 from their field back to deck, and a monster negate on resolution, their first monster negate, as long as you activate this first to, bring this out, and then, because you need to have the 15 defense spellcaster. But yeah, that's a pretty good board. Weaknesses, like I said, Droll kills you, Shifter kills you, A really well-timed Crow can weaken the board a little bit. It just depends how smart your opponent is. It can play through an Ash depending on your hand. If you have another Vermicell effect to trigger off, or not trigger, another Vermicell to activate. My bad. A huge weakness though is everything you do is essentially your starters, that is discard for cost. The Vermicells is discard for cost. The Spirit Charmers is discard for cost. That can really eat you up. Opening up too many spells and traps can brick your Vermicell engine pretty easily. I don't know why. Vermicells don't let you discard any card when every other meta deck can do that without being locked. Meanwhile, Vermicells locks you on top of that. That's really stupid. I don't know why they designed it like that. It was from Power of the Elements too, man. You have stupid shit like fucking tier limits being introduced and not locking you at all. And sure, give the Vermicell the fucking only discard monsters. Okay, whatever. The point is, this is a pretty strong board, and although you're probably not going to make this same exact board every time, at the very least, you will have the chance to make your Possessed Partnership, because this is kind of easy to fetch, or Unpossessed, because, yet again, it's easy to fetch, because you're running the Vermicell engine, and you'll, at the very least, get your Promenade, or however you want to pronounce it. I don't care, man. Pronounce it Promenade, I don't care. I'm calling it Promenade. Anyhow, God, I'm stupid. You'll get this. You'll either have the full Charmer lineup, the full Psychic lineup. You'll always probably have some Charmer stuff going on. We really don't have much for Charmers, huh? Man, we really need that new support. And well, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how to explain this shit. Alright, let's talk about the deck list. My deck list is not the most efficient because it is running 60 cards. And yes, this is one of those decks that will run a bunch of cards. A 60 card deck. Simply because the Vermicell engine is too much and you do need your Madolche cards and your Charmer cards, of course. I run one of every Charmer, level 4 Charmer, though I run 2 Asas because I like having the 2 alt arts. But then again, like I said, you can make this a lot more efficient. Here's the extra deck for all you guys. I run one of each of the main Charmers, Hida, Area, a Win, my beloved Asa. I don't run Lina or Dark. I used to run Lina, but I needed to make deck space for those Psychic monsters. So, yeah. We got one of each Charmer. I'm running a IP and a Little Knight. This is just so I can get a generic Dark attribute, just so I can have 2 or more different attributes on the field, because I'm not running Dark. You shouldn't be running Dark, or maybe should, I don't know. Well, actually, okay, I didn't explain this. I'm gonna explain it real quick. When you're running Unpossessed, you want to run at least one flip Charmer that isn't Asa. Typically, it's gonna be Lina. You could also run Dark. One of those two. You probably don't want to run the others. You could technically make an argument saying, oh, you could just run the level 5s then. And, like, that's true. But, yet again, there are moments where you do need a normal summon a Charmer. And guess what? You can't normal summon those level 5s. Or, who knows? You want to summon the level 5 Charmer from your grave off of Nefarious. But Nefarious only summons level 4 lower monsters. So that fucks you out. Like I said, those level 5s, except for Asa, because she searches for way too much in this deck. Yeah. Ugh, don't run those level 5s. You have your Psychic monsters, which is this guy, this girl, and the Ghostbuster. So you run one of each of these. A lot of 1-ofs, honestly. You run this as your emergency, I need an attribute immediately card. Because you're going to be running quite a number of Asses. Glass Souffle, of course, is a must. Queen is a must. These Modolces are all a must. So your extra deck is pretty cluttered from that. It's already at 15. If you're going to cut out anything, don't. Don't. If you're playing Genesis, because you can make this a Genesis deck, let me pause this real quick. Alright. If you're going to be running Genesis, this guy's a must. Oracle Kicker, if they out your... Or, not Kicker. Fucking... okay, yeah, it is called Kicker Oracle. I'm thinking of... Absolute. Okay. Axion Oracle, Kicker Oracle. God damn, what a fucking name. You want to run this guy if you're playing Genesis. You could also run this guy in advance, but you have to cut out something, and you're already kind of cluttered. Don't cut out the main 4, because I will not consider you as a real Charmer player, okay? If you don't play one of each Link monster and one of each of the level 4s, except for Light and Dark, because that's not the originals, I don't consider you a real Charmer player. I'm calling you out. You know who you are. I don't have to call you out, call your name out. You know who you are. Don't. Probably cut out the IP is kind of weird because, like, whatever, it must be done. Or maybe cut out the Little Knight. I don't know. Cut out one of these two chicks for Oracle if you want to do the funny, oh, if you outed me, guess what? I have an effect on my turn. Banish his card to special summon this guy. It's counted as a fusion summon, by the way. Also, this guy is a summon negate, special summon negate, that is. And if you out him, guess what? I can just banish my teleport fusion and to bring him back the same turn. That's kind of busted, actually. He's a pretty good card. I just don't have the deck space. I wish I could fit him in. I would fit him in, but the deck space is already tight as enough. I'll probably go over the Genesis stuff because this deck is playable in Genesis. You just need to make a few changes. I don't know. Maybe that'll be a different video. It'll be a short one though. Alright, main deck. Like I said, this is a very inefficient way. It is 60 cards. And one other con to keep in mind is that you are only allowed to play a playset of Ashes and a called by. Why the called by in the 60? Because you need it for the draw. I hate draw. I hate draw. I hate shifter. I hate those two cards. Those cards need to burn in hell. Also, the mold chummies. You instantly lose to those mold chummies. Are you really going to tell me to set a card and pass my turn? Unless I want to give you like 20 cards just so I could... No, stop. Even if I want to just get the normal Charmer Papa card, that's like one Nefarious, an IP. Guess what? That's two. I'm giving you plus one card just for one measly pop. Not even a negate, my dude. And that's if I could do that. Sometimes I might need extra to go into the Link Asa, and that's an extra card that you grab or whatever. I don't want to get to it. The point is, I fucking hate these lingering hand traps so much. All right. Oh god, this is not fucking organized at all. I'm gonna jump cut. All right, here's I sorted them out. So for the Charmer side, you're gonna be running 2 Nefarious. I feel like with 1, you might get screwed over not being able to do the Psychic line if you open with 1, because then, like, it's not bad because you could use the Vernicell to basically special summon one of them back, but it doesn't special summon a guy from the grave because it only gets that effect if it's special summoned through his own effect, which is kind of a shame, but you still get the search effect off if you do it that way. So it's not bad if you run it at 1. I just recommend at 2. That way you are more likely to do your funny psychic plays. 1 flip Lina. This could also be your flip Dark. I just like Lina better. 1 of each Charmer, level 4 Charmer. If you don't, you're a fraud. I'm running 2 Asas though, 2 level 4 Asas, because one alt art and 1 original art, because I like Asa. 3 channelers. This way you can search for a Vermicell if you open with Angeli, or maybe you open Nefarious and no other card. You could probably use channeler to discard one of the level 5 Nefarious to search for Hoot Cake. So that's also one way. It's also another Asa. That's pretty good because you could summon Asa off of the Vermicels. So more power to you for running more Asas. The god-awful 800 attack Asa that you could definitely cut out. Funny enough, it has actually been useful to me once before, actually twice. Once in Master Duel and once in real life paper. But that's an extremely rare event. In other cases, you could definitely get away with not running this one. The Flip 3 Asa. This is the alt art that we're never going to get at the TCG because screw you. We still haven't even got the Live Twins or Evil Twin alt arts, which is crazy. I run one because I like Asa, and yeah, you could really just cut this out, but I like Asa, as you can clearly see. I like her. I'm putting her right over here. For the spells and traps, Charmer spells and traps, we're running 3 Spirit Charmers. This is the best spell to open with. It's not a brick because you could just grab a Vermicell and then set your... not grab a Vermicell. Grab an Asa and set the Awakening. And if you have a Vermicell, then awesome. You get to draw 1 because you'll summon that Asa. Or maybe, whatever. Use your judgment, damn it. It's not that hard. Or if you need a different Charmer, like for instance, you already have Asa, you could grab whatever Charmer you need. Your opponent is playing Water, grab Area. Your opponent is playing Fire, grab Hida. Your opponent is playing Wind, grab Wind. Use your judgment, please. There's a lot of factors when it comes to this deck. 1 copy of Ichirin that you could search off of Caddy Corn. 1 copy of the Awakening of the Possessed Continuous Spell. That gives you the draw 1 and the attack boost, and Charmers can't be destroyed by card effect. Your best trap in the game. Or best Charmer card in the game. This is your only Charmer disruption, which is kind of sad. There's Ichirin, but that's not something you can really control unless you don't have a spellcaster, and then you use this to special summon the said spellcaster, and then it goes live. You understand what I mean? This is the best card. This is your pop. You play this at 2. Then you got Unpossessed. You play this at 1. This card protects your Charmers from being destroyed by battle. Keep in note, this protects Charmers. The level 4 Charmers, I've been calling them, are actually familiar possessed monsters. They're not technically Charmers. This will not protect those level 4 monsters. It will only protect the Lynx and the Flip monsters and the level 5 channelers. But if a monster in your field is destroyed, any monster, special summon a monster with a different attribute with a 15 defense face up or face down, aka any Charmer you have, as long as you have the attributes to require it. We're running 1 call by because if I could run 3, I fucking would. I can't stress that enough. I hate you lingering hand traps. You kill every pet deck, and meta decks don't even really care because they can just play around it. We can't. 3 Ash Blossoms, because fuck you, Mole Chummies. That's literally the only reason why. Fuck you, Mole Chummies. Our little psychic package, 1 fusion teleport, because we could just fetch this from literally anywhere. This could be our discard cost for Spirit Charmers, and it wouldn't matter because Serene Psychic Sorceress fetches from Grave deck or Banish. So it doesn't matter. 3 glow-up bulbs. You really want to see these guys. That way we don't have to waste a Vermicell effect to foolish some into the grave. Speaking of Vermicells, 3 ducks. Very important. Where's my third duck? 3 ducks. This searches for any Earth Fairy and special summons a Earth monster from the grave. 3 bears. Draw 1 and special summon a Earth monster from the grave. 3 fairies. Special summon... Or hills, my bad. Adds a Versatile card and special summons a Earth from a grave. 3 forests. Goddamn foolish. A Earth monster from your deck to the grave, then special summon from the grave, except the one that you just foolished. I would run 3 rabbits or fields. This is add a monster, Earth monster from your grave back to your hand, then special summon an Earth monster from your grave. Except itself. It special summons itself, but it doesn't add itself from the grave. You run this at 3. I only have this at 1 because I can't find the others in my bulk. So I need to pick up 2 more copies of this eventually. Which means I'm going to cut some cards out. Just 2, really. We're going to run 3 catty corns to make sure we get that Ichirin up and running. 1 Regulus. This guy saves you sometime. If you have him, this guy saves him. Saves you. Definitely saves you. I love using this card. This card, it's amazing. He's a clutch. He's such a clutch. Run him at 1, though, because if you run 3, it will get bricky. You just special summon him off of the Versatile effect, because, of course, Versatile special summons any Earth monster. Mudora, so you can recycle your resources back, but honestly, you can easily cut them out because the teacher... Oh, shit. Because the rank 4 Modulce Xyz monster, the teacher one, can shuffle any 2 cards from either player's grave. So you could shuffle back your Nefarious if you need to, or your Link Asa in case you want to Link Asa again, or whatever. You don't have to run this card. This card is definitely getting cut for one of my rabbits. Dot Scraper, extra body. You can't ever have enough extra bodies when it comes to Charmers, because they don't generate bodies. So the more the merrier. For the Modulce line, 1 petting cess. You only need 1. Having any more is very brooky. 3 Angelis. These are your Modulce starters. This gets you your negate instantly, or if you have enough bodies, you can do the whole Modulce line. And when I mean enough bodies, really just 1 extra body gets you the whole Modulce line. 2 gelatos. Reasoning for this is because you need to get all your spell trap searches. Please run them at 2. You can't run them at 1. Even though they are soft once per turn, you need to. Your level 5 pudding cess. You need this for your petting cess. This petting cess will almost always summon pudding cess. Now, there is a line where you can't do the full Modulce inboard, but you do your whole psychic inboard, but you haven't used Hook Cake effect yet. Use Hook Cake effect to summon petting cess, summon pudding cess, rank 4 into teacher, use teacher's effect to shuffle what you need, 1 card XC summon into Cholada, and then you use Cholada to special summon Gelato to search for probably Ticket or one of the Modulce spell traps, and then you link 3 into Meow, but you keep the Ghostbusters card in there. I know this is a lot. And then you search again for probably... What did I say to search for a Ticket? You're probably going to search for a Ticket, most likely. It just depends on your hand and board state. But usually Ticket, and then you grab you don't have a Modulce Fairy, so you probably want to grab Angeli. And then after that, use the Meow's Link 3 Modulce effect to special summon Angel. Oh my god, it's a lot. Man, I wish... There'll probably be another video discussing the lines, but I'm just giving you the brief rundown. And then you run 2 Hook Cakes. You could probably run 1 Hook Cake. Let me think. Let me think about that. I know you definitely run 2 for Genesis. But for advanced format, you could probably get away with running 1 Hook Cake, honestly. Yeah, you could probably get away with running 1 Hook Cake. So yeah, for your rabbits, Of course, you can optimize this deck a lot better by cutting out the unnecessary asas, probably just having one hook kick. You probably don't. You probably don't need. Oh, I don't know. You don't need to run like so many Vernicells, I suppose. But with my experience and shit luck, having more Vernicell names in your hand is always a fantastic thing. And it's basically your whole engine. If you don't open a Vernicell, you're shit out of luck. You could. Well, actually, I wouldn't recommend it. Never mind. I was gonna say cut down on the Madolche stuff, so you just have the trap and nothing else, and then cut down the extra deck stuff, so you only have the shuffler. But doing that means you won't have a way to shuffle back your resources, aka the nefarious. So things get a little tricky from there, honestly. I like this deck. Okay. And that's basically it. God damn, an hour and like what, 10 minutes? I don't have any closing thoughts. I might make a Genesis video if anyone asks for it. But typically, here's the Genesis extra deck. You're going to cut out the links, of course. This does not come up, but it's something I have just in case. This does come up, Typhon. This is just in case you need it. Does not come up. This is to recycle your Possessed Partnership trap. And that's about it. This is very much needed because there's no link monsters. You can't link off Nefarious that easily. The only way you can do it easily is via the Psychic play. This just, if you have enough bodies, you can actually pop the Nefarious. Yes, you're going to be popping your own cards just to get Nefarious' search going. Giant Hand is just a tool for niche cases. Teller Knights, you're not actually using the effect, you're just using a spellcaster. He's only here because he's a spellcaster. That let us go into Nefarious. Oracle Kicker, or Kicker Oracle, just in case they out your absolute Axion Kicker. And then you're going to have your Axion Kicker, you're going to have your Serene Psychic Sorceress, you're going to have your Ghostbusters, you're going to have your whole Madolche, and that's the whole extra deck for Genesis. Point cost, you're probably going to run one, You're probably going to run one Glow Up because Glow Up is like 21 points, and then you're going to run 3 Call Buys, which is 20 points. Why 3 Call Buys? Because Drolls are cheap as fuck in that game, in that format, as well as Shifter, and you can't really afford that, as well as Molchamps. Why are they so cheap? It's so stupid. They're so fucking cheap. You're gonna be running 3 of those because fuck you need them. And yeah, that's about it. If there's anything I want to say, it's that please, for the love of God, give us a very busted support. Give us a contact fusion using Charmers from your hand or field. And that contact fusion has the 18, 15, and 15 defense stat line, and it becomes whatever attributes you used as material. And on summon, it just swarms the whole board with Charmers, and it sets your back row cards directly from deck, including the Ichirin and Spirit Charmers, because screw you. And Spirit Charmers can be activated on the same turn, because we need it. We so fucking need everything we can get. We end with one fucking pop in an IP. God damn it, dude. That's the whole deck. And before anyone says, oh, just play Floodgates, you're not playing Charmers. You're a fraud. You're playing Floodgates. There are better decks that you could play with Floodgates. You could play Dogmonica Floodgate instead of Charmer Floodgate. That's not a Charmer deck. This is a Charmer deck because I'm running all the Charmers. I'm running all everything. Okay, rant over. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's pretty shit and pretty rough, and I would post replays, but I don't have replays because Master Duel doesn't have the psychic stuff yet, unfortunately. This is just recent new stuff that I just discovered on my own one day, and I was like, whoa, that's really cool that we now have a banish every card in your opponent's field very easily.
too. It's so easy. As long as you have glow up engrave, which is not that hard to accomplish. You do the whole charmer line and you just have instant access to that. That's really cool. That's really cool. Yeah. If you guys want to know where I got the mat from, I'll probably leave links in the description of the video. And hope you guys have a nice one.